Okay, hi, we're group 4, and our project today was something we called the Federal Information Finder. So the problem that we identified was that there's a lot of reliable federal information on the web, but it's scattered in different places with different coverage. So if you're not familiar with researching it online, it may be difficult to find it. So this is intended for people who may be novice legal researchers who don't have access to a library or a law librarian. There are certain things online, like libguides or lists of websites where you can find different information, but the user would have to go through those lists and read all the descriptions and decide whether they apply to their problem or not. So what we decided to do is sort of make a virtual reference interview to guide someone through the steps to find the information they need. So Rick is going to go through that, and then Scott's going to talk about this program that we used.
Okay, so we've tried to come up with some of the questions that a librarian might ask if a patron came to the reference desk or called the reference desk and was looking for some type of federal government information. So we're focusing just on federal. So the first question, which branch of the federal government do you want to, from which branch do you want to find legal information? And the user would then pick from the 3 branches, or they could say, I'm not sure, and we'll show you an example of what they would get at that point. So let me click here. Let's say they choose a legislative branch. So the next question, what type of document are you looking for? So just taking them through the steps so that instead of them, as Ian said, instead of them looking at a long list of possible sources, this is going to tell them the best sources to go to. So let's say that they don't know what is the difference between proposed enacted legislation or congressional documents. So they click on I'm not sure. And there's a number of ways you could give them more information when they say I'm not sure. You could have just a text box. You could have a link to, I'm just a bill, or you could create your own videos. So you could say, you're seeing me because you're not sure what type of legal information you want. And then when they're ready, they say, thanks, now I'm ready to pick, and then they could go back. So now they know that they want, say, proposed legislation. Now we're getting down into some of the specific questions that's going to lead them to what's most relevant. And I think a lot of the librarians in the room know that when you're looking for documents, depending on how current it is or how old it is going to be a signal of where you have to look for it. So if you were looking for legislation that is more recent, say from 1989 to current, you're in luck. And we know this isn't fully comprehensive, but we said, look to congress.gov for 1989 and onward, or FDSys for 1993 and onward, and those are links that work. If they say they're done, then the prompt is, do you want a transcript of this conversation? And if they say yes, then they can download a transcript of the conversation that they can keep. And now Scott is going to talk about a little bit about how we created the dialogue.
The code for the dialogue is at a website called QNA, letters QNA, markup.org. It's a website by David Colarusso, one of the newly named Fast Case 50, a lawyer in Massachusetts, who created a program, an open source program available on GitHub that does something similar to HJ Author, if you're familiar with the Kali project. It provides a simple markup that doesn't require programming knowledge, and we didn't have a technologist to advise our group, so having no coding experience required is a good thing, and we were able to learn the markup quickly. The dialogues are embeddable on sites. They can. We have an example here of which is on the Q&A markup site of if you'd like to write a letter to Santa, and then you can input your name, very much like AJJ Author. You can embed any content that you're interested in, not just videos, but images, presumably sound files. And our time is about up, but take a look at qnamarkup.org and see what you think. Any questions?
So, do you envision going through and doing this for every type of legal information, and then maybe crowdsourcing it for other types of document information?
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, we were kind of brainstorming all the ways it could go, and it would end up being a gigantic thing. I mean, you could also do it for a very small thing, you know, if you would just, for a small type of information, for example, if you wanted to look for court dockets from this state, you know, where are the places you can go? Especially, it's really for things that are kind of scattered all over, and you want to sort of lead someone to the best place to find them without them having to jump all over the place. So it could go scale down or really scale up too.
I mean, this would have be great as a chatbot. I mean, you basically just need to record it as that, but if you were to have a series of different protocols that was able to have a path that was able to go down, the whole information diagram that is not going to be based or something like that.
Yeah.
So are you actually just trying to free up time for librarians? The stupid questions you get asked.
Right, it could be for that. It could just be for people who don't have or don't realize that they have access to a library.
We can't work 24 hours a day.
But we're not trying to put librarians out of business.
No, you
I can see this being really useful for somebody like me who gets these questions, but you know, I'm not working necessarily with legal students. They're not going to know all of these things, but they might know the difference. They might know I'm looking for a public law. Okay, and I know what year it is. Okay, here's where I go, because you know my website might have 6 different places. So honestly, I can see this being used by non-experts, especially like college students.
And we did say there, consult a librarian.
That's right.
Not replacing anybody.
And it could be used for other purposes. Just to a little introduction to our library. Really, there are potentially endless use cases. The Chatbot example is a good one. So you could look at how A2J author is used, or how Chatbot, or I believe it's the AIML language that's used for most chatbots these days. But this is a lot. I've seen AIML language instructions. This is far easier, far more approachable. I believe this was created about 2 years ago after the chatbot craze had sort of died down a bit, and I don't think too many libraries have implemented that, but I think they could easily, not to mention law offices and other institutions could easily implement this.
So when are you going to do a video showing the librarians how to do it?
We could have that as a question. Do you want to see a video of the library? That'll be our next project, I guess.
You'll unleash this dizzying amount of information yourself.
Thank you.